Hey guys, welcome back to the Foolish Show. Of course, I am Foolish Phil. Just wanted to give you my thoughts after Michigan's 91-87 double overtime loss to Illinois tonight. You might see a cat around here from time to time. He might meow or something. Sorry about that. Just tough, man. You know, it is what it is. A loss is a loss, and this is a game Michigan could have won 2 times. They had shots to win at the end of regulation, at the end of the first overtime, and both times they couldn't get the shot to go. Disappointing to come back, play such a great effort to come back when Michigan was down 9 points in the second half, come back with a 10-0 run, 8 points in there by Kobe Buffkin. He dislocates his pinky thumb on one of those shots and such, and come back and then just not get it. Just not get it. It's too bad. Give credit to Illinois, and just give you some of my thoughts here. First half, Michigan it reminded me of like the early LeBron James versus Detroit Pistons game where Illinois was like Cleveland. Their offense was terrible, but what they did was anytime they got a turnover, Michigan had 8 in the first half, or if they got a long rebound or a poor box out, a poor Michigan shot led to a transition, they just attacked and attacked and attacked. And kudos to Illinois. They attacked, and the refs were eating it up well. The refs were calling so many fouls in the first half. You knew the second half was going to be even worse to watch for flow of the game. And Illinois attacked. Great job by them to attack, attack, and attack. Michigan struggled offensively, even though they were down 33-31. One big storyline to take out of the first half, though, was that Michigan called 3 timeouts out of 4 in the first half, and they used the last one with like under 30 seconds to go to set up the last possession of the game, of the half, and Michigan got nothing out of it. Doug McDaniel got fouled twice, actually, and missed the front end of a 1-and-1, so Michigan wasted their 3rd out of 4 timeouts for nothing. So I think that was a big mistake. I don't know if really Coach Howard wanted them to call that one, or they just thought they were supposed to, but you saw, I think, 2 to 3 players quick calling timeout, so it seemed to be the idea that they should call timeout. So I think if that's true, that was a big mistake by Howard. Now you might say, what was the big deal? Michigan was able to come back, and actually Michigan saved that timeout, their last one, to the very last play of the game, right? To try and get the shot. But in the second half there, Illinois went on a nice double-digit run, 8, 9 points, whenever they got up, and it was that was the time where you really could use a timeout, and Michigan didn't have one to burn because you needed one timeout at the end of the game. So even though technically it didn't hurt Michigan, it really was a hindrance for Michigan trying to stem a big Illinois run. They were getting dunks and layups all over the place. Once Michigan kind of got a foul and then the TV timeout, they adjusted defensively to it. But man, if you could have called a timeout 2 minutes earlier than that and limit the run, maybe that wins the game right there for you. You don't get down by so much. Is what it is. Definitely the stars of the game. Kobe Buffkin, like I said, he had a nice 8-point spurt there in a 10-0 run to give Michigan the lead, 57-56. Hunter Dickinson shot the ball relatively well. It was just such a disjointed game, and kudos to Illinois for using that to their advantage. They attacked, and they got fouled, and they got their free throws. Terrence Shannon Jr., I think that's his name, he had an NBA score sheet. Look at this. He had 21 points, great, but he was 4 of 14 shooting and 13 of 16 on free throws. That's just terrible, though, to me, that the refs bailed out him so many times. I'm not saying that the refs were good. They were trash for both teams, right? So there were many calls where you see the replay, and boy, Michigan got a break there. The refs were having a tough game all night, man, I'll tell you what. And it is what it is, but I'm just going to nitpick one thing here. Michigan, I think, was up 3 or 5 points in the first overtime. Hunter Dickinson comes down and just puts his arm out like you do all the time in the post, and all of a sudden, number 33, who I'm surprised did not get a tech for how complaining and emotional he was, for whatever reason. But he didn't get the tech, and he does a little bit of a flop. A little. I'm not saying anything like that needed to be a flop or anything, but he gets the call. And that right there was the big turning point, because Michigan was in a position to run some clock, get fouled, and get some points. And then that offensive foul call was really weak. That was weak sauce, man. that ref who called that was honestly looking to call that play, because you wouldn't call that in your overtime game like that. So I think that was really weak. But the refs were just what they are, which is always kind of trash. And I would have to say the refs were trash for both teams. The discrepancy, though, of course, when you see it, there was no intentional fouling to the last possession. Illinois attacked. They had 34 free throw attempts to Michigan's 24, so 10 more free throws. They attacked. Michigan was more jump shooting, and, it didn't pay off in the end. It's a bummer, a game that could have been, but you see, the bench had 9 points. 9 points. Joey Baker, 0 of 5, 0 of 4 from 3, misses the game-tying shot, airballing, and a wide-open shot. It was an outstanding play call by Coach Howard, and then you have Joey Baker airballing a 3. I mean, I don't know what you can do. You got your guy who shoots like 40% from 3, and he airballs it. Oh well. Yeah, but again, maybe Michigan just got worn down. This is their second overtime game in a row, and now this was double overtime, and it was a very physical game. It's just a bummer, because this would have been a great chance to get a win on the road. Now you got to rest up for 2 days and come back on the road and go into Bloomington, Indiana for Indiana's home, or senior day, where teams seem to play their best on senior day. Even look, Minnesota came back and beat Rutgers tonight. Minnesota, who has 4 wins all year, gets a win over Rutgers. Right? It's very hard to win on senior day, and that's what Michigan's going to have to do, go into Bloomington, Indiana. They really need that game. It's too bad they blew the opportunity. And I have to say, blew this game. They were in the game. They had 2 shots to win the game, and they both of them, I think, went to Hunter and just didn't get it done. That's where you need to, not force it and look for a pass. I mean, you're just going into it, and the refs aren't going to bail you out then, which is funny because they call this weak junk all over the court, but they won't bail you out or call it there. So, is what it is. Michigan led by Hunter with, I think, 29 points, and Kobe 23 points, Jet 15, Doug 9. Doug had a tough day shooting, 3 of 10. Jet was 5 of 12 or something like that, so, But the bench, 9 points from the bench, man. It's too bad you didn't have any real scoring option off the bench. You do have Terrace Reed, but he's not going to score you many points. T. Will is what he is. I love what's the irony though? The commentators point out, Terrence Williams out there for his good perimeter defense, and Mayer just does a 3 over him to get the lead, up by 3 in the second overtime. It's oh man, but just not enough plays. You even had it where I think Shannon missed a 3, the long rebound, and Michigan just doesn't box out. When it was a 1-point game, they had the chance, they had the stop, they had it, and it's a long rebound. I know the guys are tired, and that's the one where Howard fouls out on. It's you had the stop, and you just can't get the ball. There's just too many of those plays where, if you will, they're 50-50 balls. Who's going to make the effort? And Michigan just didn't make them. But still, you had the chance. 2 shots into regulation, end of overtime to win the game, and can't get it done. So, great effort, but all for naught, and that's too bad. I try not to get too stressed about it. I try to just enjoy the game, not get upset too much or anything. And, was that very successful? I don't know. But it is what it is, so I try not to get too upset. My daughter was around. She's like, Daddy, don't be mad. They're trying hard. Just disappointing when you see the potential of this team, and then they just don't execute when they have the chance. I know people might criticize Coach Howard, but I don't know what you can do. He can't make the shots for the guys. So, I mean, you had shots at the end of the game, and, Hunter Dixon forced it instead of dishing out for, a jumper from Kobe Buffkin or Howard or, anyone else. You don't have to force the jump shot. You know what I mean? It is what it is. A loss, and hopefully Michigan can rebound, regroup, get refreshed. Because that was 50 minutes of tough basketball tonight. Because they got to get that win in Indiana to have any hope of making the tournament. And at least, I'll say this, after January, Penn State obliterated Michigan. I thought, like, there's no chance Michigan makes the tournament. So at least in that regard, it's kind of nice that Michigan is playing meaningful basketball in early March, right? They're still in contention. So they're maybe beyond the bubble, but it really would have helped to win this game. But you know what? They're entertaining right now. That's all you can ask, right? Because it's entertainment. That's what sports is. Hey, if you guys stayed for the video, thanks so much. If you like this, please hit the like, and if you really like it, hit that subscribe. Until I see you guys next time, as always, go blue!